Ladies and gentlemen, betrayal is one of the ugliest sins a person can commit. It destroys friendships, ruins families, and corrupts the soul. We've all seen it. Someone blinded by their own selfishness steps over a person who trusted them. They think they're clever, that they've outmaneuvered the world. But reality is patient. It waits. And when it strikes back, it does so with a vengeance. A liar believes they've controlled the story, but deception has a way of unraveling. The truth has weight. The more you try to suppress it, the heavier it gets, until it crushes you. History is littered with people who thought they could outsmart morality, only to be buried under the consequences of their own actions. You see, betrayal isn't just an attack on another person, it's an attack on your own character. Every time you lie, deceive, or break trust, you chip away at yourself. You lose something precious. Your ability to trust in yourself. Your ability to face the mirror without shame. And once that's gone, no amount of success or wealth can bring it back. Karma isn't some mystical force, it's reality catching up. It's the people you betrayed refusing to help when you're down. It's the opportunities that vanish because your reputation precedes you. It's the gnawing guilt that keeps you awake at night. The cold loneliness of realizing no one truly trusts you anymore. But here's the good news. Integrity lasts. The people who hold onto their honesty, who refuse to betray even when tempted, build a life that's stable, strong, and respected. They sleep peacefully. They stand tall. They win in the long run. So, if you've ever been betrayed, take heart. Life has a way of correcting itself. And if you've ever considered betraying someone, remember this. What you think is a shortcut today is actually a dead-end road. Betrayal never ends well. And when karma teaches that lesson, it makes sure it hurts. Betrayal shatters trust, and trust is everything. Trust is the foundation of all human relationships. It is the invisible contract that allows families to thrive, friendships to deepen, and businesses to grow. Without trust, nothing works. Not marriages, not societies, not economies. And betrayal? Betrayal is the wrecking ball that shatters this foundation into irreparable pieces. When you betray someone, you do more than just break a promise or deceive them. You dismantle the very thing that made the relationship possible in the first place. Think about it. If a friend lies to you, can you ever truly believe their words again? If a business partner manipulates the numbers once, will you ever confidently sign another contract with them? No, because betrayal poisons everything it touches. The pain of betrayal isn't just about the act itself. It's about what it represents. It tells the person being betrayed, "You were a fool to trust me." It turns the past into a lie and the future into a void. That's why betrayal is one of the deepest wounds a person can experience. It isn't just about loss, it's about the destruction of meaning. Now, the betrayer often believes they've won. They think they've gained something, a promotion, a financial advantage, or a momentary thrill. But what they fail to realize is that trust is not just external, it's internal. When you betray someone, you don't just lose their trust, you lose your own. You begin to see yourself as someone who is capable of disloyalty, deceit, and selfishness at the expense of others. And that changes you. You might not feel the consequences immediately. Perhaps you still have your job, your relationship, or your reputation, but the cracks are forming. People talk, people notice, and most importantly, you know what you've done. You start second-guessing others because you assume they think like you. You become paranoid because deep down you know the kind of person you are, and you fear there are others just like you waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The long-term consequence of betrayal is isolation. No one wants to be close to someone who cannot be trusted. A liar attracts liars. A cheat attracts cheats. And soon, the betrayer finds themselves surrounded by people who mirror their own worst traits. Their relationships become transactional, shallow, and cold. They may have material success, but emotionally they are bankrupt. But let's flip this around. Let's say you are someone who refuses to betray. You stick to your word even when it's difficult. You remain loyal even when tempted. You are honest not because it's easy, but because it's right. What happens then? People trust you. And trust is power. It opens doors, builds alliances, and strengthens relationships. The world becomes a place where people want to help you because they know you are reliable. Your reputation precedes you, not as someone who deceives, but as someone who stands firm in integrity. So, what's the lesson here? Simple. Betrayal may offer short-term gains, but it always demands a long-term price. And that price is higher than most people realize. Trust, once broken, is nearly impossible to restore. It takes years to build and only seconds to destroy. And once it's gone, it rarely, if ever, comes back. So before you betray, before you deceive, before you step over someone who trusted you, ask yourself, is this momentary gain worth the permanent damage? Because the truth is, once you shattered trust, it never quite fits back together the same way again. Deception leads to chaos, not strength. There is a dangerous illusion that many people fall into, the belief that deception is a form of strength. They think that by lying, manipulating, and betraying, they are gaining an advantage over others. They see honesty as a weakness, as something that only naive people cling to. But they are wrong, dead wrong. Deception does not make you strong. It does not make you clever. What it does is introduce chaos into your life, chaos that will inevitably consume you. Let's break this down. When you lie or manipulate, you create an alternate reality, a false version of the truth. But reality does not simply disappear because you ignore it. It lurks in the background, waiting. The more you lie, the more you have to keep track of, the more contradictions you have to cover, and the more energy you waste maintaining the illusion. And here's the terrifying part. Once you start down this road, it doesn't stop. Lies require more lies. Manipulation requires more manipulation. You don't just deceive others, you deceive yourself. You start believing your own falsehoods, and before you know it, you've lost touch with what's real. History is filled with examples of people who thought they could build their success on deception. Leaders, businessmen, public figures. At first, they seem untouchable. They rise quickly, gaining power and influence. But then the cracks start to show. Their lies catch up. The truth, no matter how deeply buried, has a way of resurfacing. And when it does, it hits with the force of a wrecking ball. This isn't just about morality, it's about survival. A person who relies on deception is playing a dangerous game of self-destruction. They don't build solid foundations, they build houses of cards. And when the wind blows, everything collapses. Consider this. Who do you trust more? A person who tells you the truth, even when it's hard to hear, or someone who tells you what you want to hear, but constantly shifts their story? The answer is obvious. Now, think about this from another angle. If you deceive others, what kind of people will you attract? Not honest, trustworthy individuals. No, you will attract liars like yourself. People who see relationships as nothing more than transactions. People who will betray you the second it benefits them. That's the world you are creating for yourself. A world where no one can be trusted, including you. Strength does not come from deception. True strength comes from truth, from the ability to stand by your word, even when it's difficult, from the courage to be honest, even when lying would be easier. Because here's the harsh truth: if you build your life on deception, you will never truly be secure. You will always be looking over your shoulder, waiting for the day when everything falls apart. And it will fall apart. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day the chaos you have created will come back to collect its debt. So before you deceive, before you manipulate, before you betray, ask yourself, is this truly strength, or am I setting myself up for my own downfall? Karma isn't mystical, it's psychological and social. People love to talk about karma like it's some mystical force floating in the universe, waiting to punish the wicked and reward the righteous. But karma is not magic, it's reality. It's the direct result of the choices you make, the way you treat others, and the reputation you build over time. When someone betrays, cheats, or manipulates, they might think they've escaped consequences. They might even feel victorious. But life doesn't work that way. The universe doesn't need supernatural forces to balance the scales. Human nature does that all on its own. Let's break this down into two undeniable forces: psychological karma and social karma. Psychological karma, you can't escape your own mind. Betrayal and deception don't just hurt others, they corrupt the betrayer from within. The human mind is not designed to thrive on lies and disloyalty. The moment you betray someone, you introduce guilt, paranoia, and self-doubt into your psyche. At first, you may suppress it, you might justify your actions, tell yourself it wasn't a big deal or that the other person deserved it, but your subconscious knows the truth. And the mind doesn't just forget. Soon you'll notice small things: increased anxiety, a shorter temper, an inability to fully enjoy success. Why? Because deep down, you know it wasn't earned through integrity. Every time you look in the mirror, there will be a whisper at the back of your mind reminding you of what you've done. And paranoia? That's inevitable. When you betray someone, you begin to assume others will betray you too. You start second-guessing friendships, relationships, and business partnerships. Why? Because if you are capable of betrayal, then surely others are too. You will never truly feel safe. Social karma, your reputation follows you. People talk. No matter how carefully you cover your tracks, no matter how convincing your lies, the truth always finds a way to surface. Think about it. Would you hire someone with a history of deception? Would you trust a friend who has repeatedly betrayed others? No, because trust, once broken, is rarely restored. The world operates on patterns. If you are known as someone who cannot be trusted, that reputation sticks, and when your name carries a stain, opportunities start to vanish. Business deals fall through. People hesitate to associate with you. The social doors that once opened so easily start to close. It might not happen immediately. Some people get away with betrayal for years. But eventually, they hit a wall, they need help, they need support, and suddenly, no one is there. Because when you burn bridges, you eventually find yourself stranded. So what's the lesson? Karma isn't some cosmic force waiting to strike. It's the natural consequences of your actions. Betrayal rots you from the inside and isolates you from the outside. It turns your mind against you and turns the world into an unfriendly place. Meanwhile, integrity builds a life worth living. Those who stay honest, even when it's hard, create a foundation of trust that leads to long-term success, meaningful relationships, and true peace of mind. So the next time someone thinks they can outsmart morality, remind them, karma doesn't need magic to work. It just needs time. And when it comes, it makes sure the lesson is painful. The cost of betrayal is higher than any short-term gain. People who betray often do it for one reason. They think it benefits them. They see an opportunity, maybe for power, money, or personal advantage, and they take it. They justify it by telling themselves that the reward outweighs the risk, that they're just being practical or doing what's best for themselves. But what they fail to understand is this: the cost of betrayal is always higher than the temporary gain. Always. It doesn't matter if they succeed in the short term. In the long run, the price they pay will be far greater than whatever they stole, manipulated, or lied for. One, betrayal kills relationships, and relationships are everything. Think about it. What makes life meaningful? It's not money, it's not status, it's the people around you. Your family, your friends, your colleagues, the people who trust and support you. Betrayal destroys that. The moment you break someone's trust, you create an invisible wall between yourself and the rest of the world. People may still talk to you, they may even smile at you, but deep down, they will never forget what you did. And that's the thing about betrayal, it's permanent. You can apologize, you can try to make amends, but some wounds never fully heal. The damage lingers. Even if someone forgives you, they will never trust you the same way again. Now imagine this playing out over time. You betray one person, then another. At first it seems like you're getting ahead, but then years later you need help. Maybe you hit a crisis. Maybe you're struggling in your career or personal life, and when you look around for support, you find no one is there. The bridges you burned are now ashes. You lose your own sense of self. Most people think the worst part of betrayal is losing others' trust, but there's something even worse: losing trust in yourself. When you betray someone, you tell yourself that lying, manipulating, and deceiving are acceptable strategies. And once you cross that line, it's hard to go back. You become the kind of person who takes shortcuts, who chooses the easy path instead of the right one. At first, you might not notice the damage, but over time you will. You'll feel it in your own thoughts, in the way you see yourself. You'll start questioning your own motives. You'll struggle with self-respect. And the worst part? You'll never feel truly secure, because deep down, you'll know that everything you built was based on a lie. Betrayal attracts the wrong people. There's a simple rule in life: you attract what you are. Honest people attract other honest people. Liars attract other liars. Betrayers surround themselves with people just like them. If you betray, you might still find success. You might still have relationships. But the people around you, they'll be just like you, untrustworthy, selfish, and ready to turn on you the moment it benefits them. And that's the irony. Betrayers think they are winning, but what they are actually doing is isolating themselves in a world where no one is truly on their side. They live in fear, always wondering when the next betrayal will come, because when you live by betrayal, the long-term pain always outweighs the short-term gain. Let's say someone betrays a friend for money. Maybe they make a quick fortune. Maybe they enjoy it for a while. But then what? They've lost a friend. They've damaged their own reputation. And sooner or later, that betrayal will come back to haunt them through regret, loneliness, or consequences they never saw coming. It's the same in business, relationships, and life in general. Betrayal might feel like a shortcut, but it's actually a trap. It gives you an advantage today while setting you up for ruin tomorrow. The price is too high. If betrayal truly worked, if it really led to lasting success, then the most dishonest people in history would be the happiest and most secure. But they aren't. The truth is, the people who stay loyal, who keep their word, who refuse to betray, they are the ones who build something real. So the next time you consider betraying someone for short-term gain, ask yourself, is the price worth it? Because once you pay it, there's no getting it back. Integrity outlives betrayal, it always does. There's a reason why people admire integrity. It's rare, it's difficult. And in a world full of shortcuts, deception, and betrayal, it stands out. Betrayers think they are smart. They think they can cheat, lie, and manipulate their way to success. And sometimes they do, for a while. But time has a way of filtering out what is false. In the long run, the people who win are the ones who stay honest, who remain loyal, and who never compromise their principles. Betrayal dies in time. Integrity stands forever. Think of history. Think of the people we remember with respect and admiration. They are not the ones who climbed their way to the top by stepping on others. They are the ones who stood by their word, who remained strong in the face of temptation, who refused to betray even when it would have been easier. Now think of the ones who lied, cheated, and deceived their way to success. Where are they? Most of them have faded into nothing. Their legacy is one of disgrace. Their names, if remembered, are associated with shame, not admiration. Because betrayal is a temporary advantage. It might help you win today, but integrity? That's what builds an unshakable foundation. Trust is a form of wealth, and it's worth more than money. People often think success is about power or money. But the truth is, the most valuable thing a person can have is trust. Trust opens doors, it creates opportunities, it builds relationships that last a lifetime. The wealthiest, most powerful people in the world rely on trust to maintain their influence. Without it, everything collapses. Now, what does betrayal do? It destroys trust. You might win something in the short term by betraying someone. Maybe you make a quick deal. Maybe you manipulate a situation in your favor. But in doing so, you lose something far greater: the ability for others to believe in you. Once that's gone, it's almost impossible to get back. People don't forget betrayal. They might forgive, they might move on, but they will never trust you the same way again. Your reputation becomes your destiny. Reputation is not just what people say about you, it's what determines how they treat you, and over time it shapes your entire life. A person known for integrity will be respected, they will be given opportunities others won't, people will want to work with them, support them, and help them succeed. A person known for betrayal, however, will eventually be avoided. They might get away with deception for a while, but in the end, people will distance themselves, their reputation will precede them, and it will be their downfall. You don't control what people say about you, but you do control what you give them to talk about. And over time, what you do consistently becomes who you are. The inner peace that betrayers will never have. One thing betrayers never get to experience: peace of mind. Someone who lives with integrity can sleep at night knowing they've done the right thing. They don't have to constantly look over their shoulder. They don't have to live in fear of their lies being exposed. Betrayers, on the other hand, are never at peace. Even if they escape consequences in the external world, they can never escape their own mind. They will always wonder when karma will catch up. They will always feel the weight of their actions pressing down on them. Integrity wins in the end. At the end of the day, it comes down to this: betrayal is a temporary victory. Integrity is a permanent strength. People who betray think they are winning, but they are actually digging their own graves. Meanwhile, those who choose integrity, even when it's difficult, are the ones who build something real, something lasting. Because when the dust settles, when all the lies and deception fade away, the only thing left standing is the truth. And the truth is, integrity always outlives betrayal. So the question is simple. Do you want to be remembered as someone who took the easy road and lost everything? or as someone who stood firm, earned respect, and left behind a legacy that can never be broken.